Hello and welcome to another edition of The People's Rose. I'm Jared.
I'm Brooke.
We are a married couple and we love reality TV. We love it so much we started a podcast. This is that podcast.
And we love to yap.
We are yappers. We yap about specifically reality TV and now the reality TV shows we watch. And boy, do we watch a lot of them. We watched a lot this summer. Kind of feels like we're coming to a close.
Yeah, it's coming. It's dwindling down.
Right, but only we're going to start right back up with we got a Love is Blind American season coming in October.
Yeah.
We got The Circle coming in mid-September. We got The Golden Bachelor coming.
Yeah.
So we got to enjoy these maybe week and a half off that we have.
Listen, after this Bachelorette, I just don't even know if I can get behind Golden Bachelorette.
Okay, well,
It
hold
was too
on.
much.
Let's get into it. I hadn't started recording
Okay.
yet.
Oh, sorry.
You're already dropping hot takes.
Sorry.
We started we're going to get into The Bachelorette. We're going to get into Big Brother as well. And that's really all we got to talk about this week.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, I want to hear why. Tell me why that you feel like you don't know if you can get into the Golden Bachelorette. What does she have to do with anything that's happened?
Okay. She doesn't have anything to do with it, but I'm just losing all faith in humanity.
In humanity? All faith in humanity? All right, well, we're taking her to the
that
emergency
goes
room.
on this show.
I mean, maybe the show. Maybe you lost all faith in the show.
Yes, I know that's really not true because we did get some gems out of the show, but like I'm just so disappointed about how it all ended.
Yes, we of course are talking about the latest season of The Bachelorette with Jenn Tran, our lead. This season we started off. We have the evidence on our podcast. We can't deny it. We were wondering if Jenn was going to live up and be a worthy lead, when actually we should have been wondering if the show was going to put on a worthy show.
Yeah, if the men were gonna live up to being upstandable men. Upstandable, that's not a word.
Upstanding?
Upstanding.
Outstanding.
Upstanding men.
Understandable. The men, the production team, a lot of the fans. It was really just a failure on all counts for Jenn Tran.
Wait, why the fans?
Because I think we also, like everyone else, fell victim to the is she ready? Is she really committed to this?
Fair.
Is she really gonna? And she seems to be the only one who was committed to the journey.
True.
All the men were hoping it was Daisy.
True.
All the
Even though she did say, and I quote, "I don't know how to be in a healthy relationship."
Right. But
if you don't know how to be in a healthy relationship, then I don't know if The Bachelor is the best place for you to find that.
Okay, well, Brooke is clearly taking the against Jenn stance.
No,
this is getting tick clips and TikToks.
No,
I want everyone to know that I am Team Jenn.
No,
and
I am saying, Team Jenn too, and I do think that I think the show failed her.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
I said we were worried about her when we should have been worried about, are they even going to give her men that like her?
Well,
you can be healthy or ready or whatever, but if they don't even give you men that like you and want you,
true.
What's the point? That's the point I was saying. I didn't know we were going to have anti-Jenn.
But there were men that liked her. She just didn't like them.
Name them. Name the men that were.
The Bachelor Grant really liked her.
Yeah,
he said he was falling in love with her.
You're right. Now, see, you're right, and that's why I think the show failed. There were so many men that were clearly she wasn't their first option.
Yeah.
And so she was distracted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I realize they have to cast their plants. I realize they have to cast their people just to make the show interesting.
Sure.
But when you cast the plants and then the other half are cast that were waiting for Daisy or Maria, she's left with just one or two Grants or who else, really, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she's distracted by everyone else.
Well, yeah. And it's the greatest mystery of life, and who you like and why you like them and who they don't like. And it is. It's you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
How many times in life, It's literally happening on Big Brother right now.
Yeah.
You like someone, they don't like you. Yeah. They like someone else. You get upset. Yeah. It's like rare to actually find the one where y'all both really like each other.
You're right. Just to acknowledge your reference, we are multitasking. We're podcasting. Oh, yeah. We are watching the Big Brother feeds on mute, and we are watching NFL.
For those of you who might remember what I had to say about football last year, it still remains true. I forget about it until fall.
That's interesting.
And then
she's anti-Jen and anti-football. She is my host. We're gonna have to hold an intervention here.
Do not call me anti-Jen. That is not true and not fair.
Okay, well, I edit the TikTok, so you could.
I will not stand for that being posted.
Healthy has.
I will report it. I will report it to TikTok as what is it called? Not following user guidelines.
I don't even think the reporting function works. Okay, but let's get back to the Bachelorette. So, of course, we are talking about this traumatic disaster of a finale. Yeah. Disaster of a ending of the season, because really, truly, if you look at her final 4 guys, you had Jeremy, who was kind of just vibes. He was like, yeah, she likes me the best, but didn't know anything about her. Yeah. They had not had a deep conversation at all.
Yeah.
That was a joke.
And we didn't really see their relationship.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but they might have had more of a connection than we saw, but we didn't really see that.
I don't even think there was anything to show. Then you had Jonathan. Everyone, I have to get this take out there. Everyone, I think, has forgiven Jonathan because he was like, love you, Jen. I love your green dress. Oh, and Jen, oh my gosh, I'm posting about The Bachelor. Oh, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm ready for you, Jen. Shut up.
What? You don't
He was on a dating show with Jen, had time to prove how much he was into her. And that final hometown, he was hitting her with I don't know. I'm really doubtful.
True.
And it wasn't until after she broke up with him that he said, I went for a walk on the beach and I finally realized that I actually liked you. That is such a cop-out, and I'm tired of pretending like it's not.
Yeah.
I know we have so much more to talk about, but Jonathan, he's gotten an easy ride because of what happened with everything around him.
So you just think none of these guys actually liked her?
I don't think any of those final 4 did.
That is so sad.
Because Jonathan, that's the point I was making. Jonathan, I think he was just like, oh yeah, actually now that we're over, I did like you. I don't know why I sabotaged that. And then he sees how the other 2 ahead of him messed up, so he's all compliments, and now everyone loves him. Jen, go get your man. Go get No, Jen, go get a real person. Okay, then we have Marcus, who has a lot of allegations that we can't prove or disprove. Yeah. We're not private investigators. But let's say you're saying that those are true. You don't like him anyways. Let's say you don't care about him. You don't know about him. He still couldn't decide if he liked Jen.
Yeah.
Up until the end. You know what I mean? That she had to be like, all right, bye.
Yeah.
And then the most evil man in reality TV right now. What's his last name?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Strader.
Devin. I would just advise you, man. We're both Houstonians. Don't ever step in front of a camera again. I'm not. I mean, truly.
Don't ever come on our side of town.
No, I don't.
I'm
don't
kidding.
Say that.
I'm kidding.
Well, yeah. Don't step in front of a camera. Just stay off of dating websites, bro. You are cooked. You messed up. You are truly, man. You messed up.
There's just no other way to put it than he's a con artist.
He's a scammer. He's a con artist.
Yeah, he literally had me fooled. He had me fooled. Now, because I was in his ongoings with Sam, I was more team Devin, but I always felt like Devin had a pretty intense personality, or a personality that that I could understand why not everyone gets along with him. Right? And so that was part of like, oh, well, I think it's okay, but like, I wouldn't necessarily want to be buds with him, but like, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
And then it just was like, no. Like so I don't know. Was I shocked by the ending? Kind of.
It's just I'm a little shocked at the audacity. It wasn't they were both into each other and they couldn't make it work.
Yeah.
It wasn't he didn't like he didn't realize how stressful it just was like she made it sound like, and he didn't deny it.
Yeah.
Like the show ended, he was like, yeah, whatevs.
Yeah.
And that's horrible. And that makes you, as much as he was like, well, I can't, what am I supposed to say? It's obvious what happened. He never liked her.
Yeah.
He's a liar.
Yeah, because if he doesn't know what to say, because he can't say the truth, because the truth is he never really liked her and he just wanted to win.
He just wanted to win.
He just wanted, I mean, but what do you gain from that?
So okay. So let's get into theories of why he lied. Because he clearly lied.
Yeah.
But this is why I think he lied. And I want to hear your opinion on it as well. And viewers and listeners, tell us what you think. This is what I think happened. And I think we have all the evidence that we need to prove this.
Mm-hmm.
Devin was casted on this show to go for Maria.
That's what everyone's saying.
It's like so clear. And when his personality, who he was on the show, who Maria was, who he was trying to maybe be, was to get Maria 100%. Now the Maria change happened. Everyone knows this. They talked about it. That kind of added. It was a last second thing. It was kind of obvious. Daisy was also in the running, maybe above Jenn. Jenn's the Bachelorette. Now the way the show works, they don't have time to cast new guys, is what they say.
Oh.
I think they could have.
Yeah.
Or maybe they were like, well, would you go for Jenn? And these guys, maybe some guys said, no, I was really for Maria. A lot of these guys just want to get famous. They're like, yeah, sure, whatever. Any pretty girl.
Mm-hmm.
And so he gets on the show for Jenn.
Mm-hmm.
I think he wanted to get to paradise to meet Maria. He wanted to get in the
I forgot about that.
He wanted to get in the hold on. He wanted to get in the Bachelor sphere. So his plan was to be a good guy, be himself, be that kind of counterculture like Maria was, but show the process works for him.
Yeah.
Show, hey, I'm a lovey-dovey dude.
Yeah.
I'm a guy that you want to be with Maria or just whoever, right?
Yeah.
In the Bachelor sphere. But he did not want to win.
You're right.
And didn't I say this before all of this went down, before we knew what was happening in those episodes? I was like, Devin's kind of giving me a little self-sabotaging vibes.
Yeah.
As if he doesn't really want her to win. So he started, that's why I think we saw such a strong push at the end. He kept going up to her.
Yeah.
I was like, why are we meeting with Devin again?
Yeah.
But he was like, I need to talk to her. He's like, I'm not getting that from you.
Yeah.
And then when she was like, of course I love you, Devin. His reaction wasn't, oh, it was almost like,
yep.
And maybe hindsight's 20/20, but even the moment I was like, well, I mean, shouldn't he be happier?
It's true.
He was like, ugh.
And you know what else? When she was considering bringing her ex back, he was ready to jet.
Thank you. Right.
He was ready to go.
Thank you. And the littlest thing, he was like, well, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And if she does this, I'm out. But then she wouldn't do it.
Right.
You have to be like, okay, I guess I'm in. Well, she doesn't say she loves me.
Right.
She's like, I do love you. He's like, oh, man.
Right.
You know?
Oh, why did I not see the cracks? I'm like disappointed in myself almost.
I said it. I don't know if I said it on the pod. I can't remember. But I know I said it when we were watching it. But I was rooting for him because he was the only person verbalizing it.
Yeah.
The other guys turned out to be better guys because at least they were verbalizing their doubts.
Yeah.
He was trying to convince us that he was still a good guy when he was not.
Yeah.
So, or not, he wasn't trying to convince us that he was a good guy, just that he liked Jenn.
Yeah.
When he didn't. So that's the error of his ways.
You know what I think is also really telling? Her brother clocked both the guys.
Yeah.
He literally on both of them was like, I don't know. He was like, with Devin, he was just like, yeah, I don't know. With Marcus, he was like, yeah, I think this is just your tendency to pick emotionally unavailable men. And it was like harsh, but it was like, he's speaking truth,
Yeah.
Jen.
Yeah. Yeah. The moms, they didn't show the mom, they didn't show him, Devin, getting his blessing. He said, I'm not going to.
No, he's asked, and he said he wasn't going to.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then they showed the mom and the aunt not being gung ho about it, saying it's too short a process.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I think as a person who's seen tons of dating reality shows.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was an edit that they did to give the family a greater sense of discernment, because the production knows what happened. This happened a month ago that he broke up with her.
Yeah.
So it could have been friction, but at the end of the day, I'll give you.
Yeah.
But they just didn't include those parts.
Right.
Which I think is for the best.
Right.
Because think about it, on Love is Blind, Jenny, Bobby, and what's that her name? Bobby and Jenny? Jasmine's mom was like mean, but at the very end was like, okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Bobby and Jasmine hadn't worked out and he'd done that, they could have just not shown all that parts.
Yeah.
So the family could get the edit of like, they were tough, but they were right.
Right.
So that's, I mean, it can't be minimized. It can't be, like, you can't say it enough how bad of a thing Devin did.
Right.
And how transparent it all was. I think that's what's so bad about it.
Right.
Is that there's no perspective, at least not that he put forth or anyone put forth, where you're like, oh, it's just a bad situation for both of them.
Yeah.
No, he just sucks.
Yeah.
In this context, and maybe in all contexts, you know what I mean? Like, it just wasn't the best. It wasn't the best, man.
I mean, let's get to the part where they literally made them have this conversation, which they do every single time, except it's usually with the one they broke up with prior, like the second place, right? But they had to have this conversation when they haven't talked for a month because he was refusing to talk to her about it.
Right.
What is his problem?
Well, because it's so lame, man. He didn't want to get back with her, nor did he want to feel bad about her maybe trying to get back with him. So no conversation, no communication. You know what I mean? And
he just wanted a clean break.
Right. And I would think he was hoping
no contact.
That at the finale, you know how when people, like, you're going to do something, you know how, like, oh, when you're going to Craigslist to buy something, make sure it's in a public place so they can't hurt you or something. Or when you're going to, like, tell bad news to someone who freaks out.
True.
You know what I mean? Do it in a place that's public so they feel like they can't be them, Right. So I think he was hoping with cameras on them, he could spin the narrative. She wouldn't be as accusatory. But that's why Jenn and that's why I feel bad for. Like, I don't know if she was ready. She was definitely ready to be the lead because she came at him.
This is what you said, and this is so true. Jenn is the type of person who, when she's mad, she can hold her own.
She can articulate her thoughts.
Yes, I cannot.
Clearly. Yeah,
a lot of people cannot, but she can hold her own, and she can just start spitting stuff off of, well, you this and this, why did you do the
her points are well communicated, clearly constructed, and makes sense, and she does that in the midst of her anger. And so when she does that, it's like, okay, she was crying. Yes, we saw that raw
poor girl,
emotion.
she was bawling,
but she did not mince words with Devin.
No.
Which is why, just aside, that's why I was a little disappointed by her little speech that she gave to Sam M. Because I was like, she's actually good at this. I don't know why she went with the rehearsed lines.
That was too rehearsed,
Yeah, okay, but she came out the gate like, I thought she would be like, why? We had was beautiful.
No.
She was like, no, you suck.
Yeah.
And you were trying to hurt me.
And
after
you lied.
Broke up, what'd she say happened after they broke up?
Oh my gosh. A few days later,
2
or the
days.
next day, he followed Maria on Instagram.
Yeah, he breaks up with her over a 15-minute phone call
15.
before they're supposed to have their happy couple meeting, and then follows Maria.
That
And
was
how she said
crazy.
it showed the level of hurt. Yes, it's egregious, but also she was like, and not only that, it wasn't just anyone. You follow Maria.
And the thing that I didn't even realize until today is that Jenn and Maria, well, first of all, there were so many. Okay, Sam brought it up, right? That he wished it was Maria.
Yes.
Or thought it was going to be Maria or Daisy.
Yeah.
We don't know who else brought it up or whatever. It probably was. I know it was one of Jenn's insecurities because Maria went on a podcast and said she was supposed to be the Bachelorette. And Jenn went on a podcast and said that's actually not true. We were all in the running, and then they just picked, like, it wasn't anybody above anybody else, but they just offered it to me.
Right.
And they kind of had a rift because of that.
Yeah, they're not.
So
well,
I'm
they don't have a
certain.
rift. They just aren't friends. Maria clarified that. Maria responded.
What does that mean?
Well, I don't talk
like
to
there's
her.
no bad blood.
Yeah, I don't
it's
talk
just...
to her because she did me wrong. It's like we just don't see eye to eye. We're not friends.
Okay. Well, then there's
As high as what Maria claims.
Okay, but I'm sure. I mean, Jenn has a side too. I'm sure she had been open with Devin about her, about her insecurities related to that.
You would think.
Yeah, and so for him to then do that really is a slap in the face. But that also is such a testament to the times when that's like the thing. Like you follow someone on Instagram.
Yeah, but I think it was because Maria said she didn't notice. We'll get to Maria's response later, but I think it was very hurtful, and we have to, and it's also a thing that from the beginning of Jenn's journey, it was always in the air of someone else being Bachelorette.
Right.
We remember when they announced Jenn as Bachelorette. Prior to that, they had a segment where Daisy explained why she wasn't going to be the Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Daisy, of course, had an emotional end with her journey with Joey as well, and they were like, "So Daisy, why don't you want to be?" Kind of like, "Listen, America, don't say we chose the wrong one."
That's so unfair to Jenn.
Which is why everyone's...
That's so unfair to Jenn.
That's why from beginning to end, it was, is it going to be Daisy? Is it going to be Maria? Here's another thing I'll say. I think Jenn has her own perspective. I think everyone knows that if Maria had wanted to be the Bachelorette, she would have been the Bachelorette. Like, do you remember?
I never was on Maria train.
But you remember those Maria watch parties?
Yes, I do.
Where people were in the bars cheering, Maria's the Bachelorette.
Yes.
And so, yes, that's actually very good. The production was like, girl, it was always going to be you. We chose who we wanted to. You have to build your lead up, right?
Yeah.
But, okay, let's also be realistic. But that's still, if you're going to do that, recast. And this is why it's so apparent.
They just do it so fast. The turnaround time is way too fast between Bachelor and Bachelorette.
Right.
There's a much longer time between Bachelorette and Bachelor. That's why they've already announced Grant.
Right.
And they're like
casting it.
Yes, but again, they could have done that with Jenn.
Yeah.
Like there's people out there who are doing the work to get the stats and get everything together, basically to show how the Bachelorette is like notoriously.
So okay,
there's less.
Yeah. So yeah, I know what you're talking about.
There's less effort put into the Bachelorette than there is into the Bachelor.
I know what you're talking about. Let's talk about Bachelor Data, but I do want to also talk about your point before you jump. Okay, so yes, casting has to be for the lead.
Yeah.
Especially, and this is hot take time, when you have minority leads, when you have Black, brown, Asian leads, you have to cast people that want to date them.
Yeah.
Remember Rachel, the first minority or Black Bachelorette. Mm-hmm. A racist made it onto her season. Yep. Like a racist made it onto her season. Jenn had people on her season who just didn't even really, it's not that racism really have to do with it and why they didn't want to date her. You can say on the surface, but were clearly naming the two other girls they thought it might have been, or people might have wished it were, or were expecting it to be. You have to, and anyone, no matter the race, deserves to be casted for their season. So when the moms brought up, or her mom and her aunt brought up, have you dated an Asian person before?
Yeah.
At first, I was like, okay, if they've made it this far, they're into her. Why are you asking? You know what I mean? I thought they might be asking because they want to make sure that they didn't have a fetish or a proclivity towards a race thing, which you don't want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now it's almost like I wish production had been like, all right, are you here for Jenn? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not, would you be okay with Jenn? Maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And also getting famous.
Right.
Are you here for Jenn?
Right.
Every lead deserves that.
Right.
And they need to do that.
Right.
Okay.
But again, if we're dealing with con artists, they can lie.
Right.
For all we know, they might have done that with Devin. And he might have just said, yeah.
I hear you. And it's the production. This is why production deserves blame. You can't take away the mistakes they made.
Yeah.
If they were casting 3 women, it should not. They should have had 3 casts. And I want to be here to be on the show and date one of those 3. One of those 3 works. You know what I'm saying? For most people in the real world, you're not just like, oh, I'll marry any one of these 3 people. Yeah. You know what I mean? You want your person. Yeah. So if you're going to have 3 in the mix, like they claim to have had, give me 3 different casts. Yeah. Don't give me people to be like, I would have been fine with whoever. Right. And you're great. You know what I mean? Right. Get you people. The answer should be like, who do you want the most? Right. Oh, I'm Maria. Okay, that's a Maria choice. Who would you want the most out of these 3? Jenn. And keep going until you have a people who are all there for Jenn. Yeah. Not to be on the show. Yeah. Okay. And now, you brought up 2 points. The Bachelor data point. Yeah. Did I sent you that, right? Okay. They just don't treat it. The casting time is shorter. Yeah. The show is shorter. Yeah. Since the pandemic, The Bachelor has maintained the length of a season, 10 episodes. 10 weeks to decide whether you're into this person or not. They've shortened The Bachelorette down to 8 to 10.
Which is wild. And now, 8 to 9, thinking about it, you can tell. Yes. You can tell a difference. Rushed. Yes.
Yeah, and so there's that. The success rate of the men since the pandemic has outpaced the women's success rate. The only Bachelorette that's still with her choice since the pandemic is Charity Lawson. And that's out of 8 Bachelorettes. We've had 8 Bachelorettes since 2020 versus, I think, 4 for the men, and the men are 3 for 4.
And I just think when they're doing, like when they did the co-season for Gabby and Rachel, like there's no way. I mean, I guess they let the guys pick, right? Oh, are you into her? Are you into her? And then they kind of, divvied them up like that. But it's just like, they obviously weren't casting with them in mind.
Right. See, I forgot about that's how they did that. These women have gotten the short end of the stick. I saw a tweet where a girl said that her dad was like, it's crazy because if you're a girl that goes on The Bachelor, you get messed over. Yeah. And if you're a girl that goes on The Bachelorette, you still end up getting messed over. Yeah. It's an inflection point for the franchise. People are saying ABC. For some reason, in my head, I had it that Hanna-Barbera is the studio that does The Bachelor.
Hanna-Barbera?
Yeah.
What is that?
I thought that was the name of the studio that did The Bachelor.
It's not ABC?
No, I don't think so.
What? Where are you getting these facts?
Again, I said I think. I don't know if it's a fact. So, yeah, I said Hanna-Barbera. Warner Brothers is the studio that produces The Bachelorette and The Bachelor. And that's, so, I mean, yes, ABC co-produces it and puts a show on, but I want to name it Warner Brothers production team. Yes, ABC, they air it or whatever, but the production teams that puts on these shows, let's do better. Let's do better. I mean, we could scream. We could go another hour on how bad Devin is.
Well,
but let's not go ahead. Continue. Actually, say what
no,
you're gonna say.
I just was gonna say it. One thing that really bothered me is that when she was breaking up with Marcus, he said something along the lines of, "Well, I couldn't be what you wanted."
Right, your expectations.
And Devin said the same thing,
Yep.
and I'm just like, when did Jen come up with all of these unrealistic expectations for these guys?
She never did.
No, that's such an excuse and they're not taking accountability for how they feel,
right,
and what they're going through. Like, instead of it's just I just can't stand it.
Which is why I say none of those guys should be left off the hook.
And I get it. Like, you want to break up with someone, you don't want to just be like, dude, I don't like you. Like, you don't want to do that. That's not nice. Especially when you've been building towards something.
Right.
You thought something could be there. Right. But so then I don't know what the solution is.
Yeah.
But it's not to blame it on or try and blame it on the other person. Turn it around on the other person.
No, yeah, you're right. I agree. These guys didn't like her, and it's clear the more you think about the season. Sam M, Marcus, Jonathan, Devin, obviously. I think Jeremy was into her, but in love with her. No, you can't convince.
Well, and I want to be clear. There's not anything wrong with Jen.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with Jen.
Right.
It is the men. Right. Like, it's not. Jen did nothing wrong. It's not her fault that these men were not good and were not into her.
Right.
But it's just like so sad that this is how it all played out.
Right. No, you're right. Yeah. Yeah. It's just depressing. Jen doesn't deserve what happened to her. I don't want to leave Marcus off the hook just because there was a bigger flame out.
Right.
Marcus should have left the show.
Yeah.
He stuck around way too long.
He did.
And he is so blessed that Devin decided to be...
was a bigger F up.
Decided to be a worse person. And make it clear that he was a worse person.
Right.
So Marcus, don't ever say you're not blessed. Marcus should have left the show, and here's why. He knew a long time ago that not only was he not into Jen, that he didn't love Jen, but that he didn't see himself getting there.
And getting married.
Yeah, it's fair to say halfway through the season, this is a great girl. I don't know, it'll be kind of crazy to get there, but I think it's possible because I like her that much.
Yeah.
But he was like, I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
And you're a great girl. It's not that I dislike you. I'm not feeling it, and I don't see how I could.
Yeah.
And you need to leave at that point because, Yeah. And maybe you don't, and maybe because you haven't. Maybe I don't know if he's fallen in love, but if you've fallen in love with somebody, or you've met the love of your life, it may be crazy to think, oh, getting married to that person in 3 months, I don't think I could do that. But you'll know, I know that they're the one, and we just need more time. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, I don't really see it happening.
And again, I do think that is a rare thing to find. And so it's not shocking to me that people aren't finding it on this show.
Right, but the point I'm making is, you're right, but the thing you do is leave.
Right, yeah.
So when he's like, man, because he was not saying, Jen, I know I love you.
Right.
I just need more time.
Right.
I know you say engagement is what you need, but I love you. And I want to be with you. Can you just
give me more time? And I feel like she would have been okay with that.
And she 100% would have been okay with it. In fact, remember, we haven't even said this. Marcus, she did say that Marcus was not the guy. But she said Marcus was not the relationship, kind of because who Marcus was. And he was a guy that didn't like her. I think if Marcus had liked her, like really liked her from the beginning, he would have been 100% the pick.
Yeah.
So if Marcus knew that it wasn't about time, it was just like, I don't really see it happening.
Yeah.
Leave.
Yeah.
Leave. And I don't think he doesn't strike me as a guy who was sticking around to get Instagram followers. I think he thought he was being polite.
Yeah.
By not breaking up with her.
Yeah.
But the right thing to do is to be honest about your feelings.
Right.
And have some self-introspection and some self-awareness.
Right. For sure.
So, I mean, he wasn't mean about it. He wasn't rude about it. He was open and honest with her about it. And yes, okay, that's a step up from Devin. And it's actually, that's commendable. But he didn't leave.
Right.
Yeah. Is that her family was nice. We talked about her family.
Mm-hmm.
And her friends, they seem cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can't believe it. We got more to say because we have not even talked about the worst thing the production did. After all of this comes out, after it's apparent what's going to go down, what has gone down with Jenn and Devin. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy.
Strap in.
Okay, so this is a predicament they found themselves in. Devin and Jenn broke up a month ago.
Right.
Right? From Thursday. They had been promising all season that they were going to show you something that had never happened before.
Yep.
Now, when they promised that, they were thinking, okay, we have our first lead bachelorette who has proposed to her final one guy.
Yep.
But bam, her and Devin break up.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of want to still deliver on that promise and show that. Mm-hmm. But you would think maybe common decency, after the torturous thing that had just gone down, you would say, maybe don't show that.
Or maybe, Jenn, go backstage and sit with someone who's comforting to you.
Right.
Not the person who ripped your heart out and broke it into a million pieces.
Right. But no, they showed her proposal to Devin. And not only did they show it, for the first maybe 15 minutes, they had an inset box of her and Devin's, because she was sitting next to Devin. Her reaction to it and her sobbing at the thought of it. Like, it's horrible.
It's horrible.
It is so bad. It is so bad.
On one hand, I do get it, because Jessie was like, this is amazing that you did this, and so we want to show people like that you can be a woman who proposes to a man if that's what you want to do, right? Yeah. Because it was the first time that had ever happened. And so I get it, because I do think that could be empowering, but it just should have been done differently.
Yeah, and let's think about it in context. She was proposing. Yes, it was a powerful thing for her to decide to do that. Mm-hmm. But she was doing it to a guy who was conning and scamming her and didn't love her.
And the thing is I believe she was doing it because he was like, I don't know, you haven't really been giving me the reassurance.
To make a gesture.
And so she was like, I'm going to give you the biggest reassurance you have. Like, I want to marry you.
Yes.
And then he was scamming her.
Exactly. So, that's exactly it. You said it exactly. She was getting scammed and they showed it. It would be like for the first time in history, we had a grandma decide to give her fortune to a young Nigerian prince who needed the help. And she helped this man ascend to the throne. Now, she did find out that it was just a random guy, in Michigan that was scamming her. But let's show this heartwarming moment anyway. And you're like, yeah, let's make Granny relive the moment where she lost her life savings.
Oh, man.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In context, it didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone wanted to hear from Devin. I don't think anyone wanted to see the proposal anymore. Yeah. And if you're going to do it, maybe throw it up online and say, we do have, for those who wanted to see that moment, it will be available online.
Yeah.
But for, understanding the context
That's good. That would have been good.
And they could have had her reacting maybe a day later and being like, I can't believe I did that. I felt empowered in that moment.
Yeah.
But no, I can't believe he did that to me. Have a round, a table panel. You know how they do 90 Day Fiance, where they're kind of like us sitting on the bed.
Yeah.
They could have had some Rachel and Gabby sit and be like, Jenn, you're so strong for that. But
yes.
Girls, don't propose to a guy that doesn't like you.
Yes.
So on that subject, what do you think about a girl proposing?
If you want to, do it.
I saw a lot of people. I saw a funny tweet. It was like, I'm really proud of Jen for doing that. But girls, if you ever see me proposing to a guy, have me arrested.
I know. Like, I don't think that. I don't think we as a society are accustomed to that. We're obviously not accustomed to that.
Yeah.
And so I think it's weird for people, and I do think for some people it would not work. Right?
Yeah.
Like they would choose not to do that, or like a guy would not like that. But I also think that for some people it very well could work.
Yeah. Here, I'm about to get very deep. Marriage relationships are very personal, and they're more than the symbols that we put around them.
Yeah.
So, like, for instance, the most important part of my marriage to you is our relationship.
Yeah.
All the other stuff is ancillary. So, but there's the symbology of it that's all made up. The rings we wear.
Sure.
The gestures we do, getting down on a knee and proposing, even the ceremony itself. It's all things that we've made up.
Sure.
But the symbols mean things to people. The rings we wear mean things to us.
Yeah.
That wedding ceremony meant something to us. Our proposal meant something to us. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if it means something to you to propose, whoever you might be, you know what I mean, to your future spouse, do your thing. Yeah. So I don't have a problem with it. If you had proposed to me, I would have just felt, because you were, you were very, do you remember, you were very like, when are you proposing? Is this the weekend you're proposing? We'd be heading toward the door. You're like,
oh my God.
So I feel like if you had proposed, it would have just been because you were like, oh, it took you too long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then that would have been sad.
Yeah. And I don't think that's where it should come from.
Yeah.
It should come from a place of, that's just how y'all, the nature of y'all's relationship. Yeah. And it worked. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But see that, I mean, now for the rest of eternity, as long as there's human eyes, and it's backed up somewhere, we're gonna have video footage of her proposing to a guy who did not like her. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that should have been out there. I really don't think it was worth it to see it. I don't feel empowered by it now, knowing what happened. Yeah. Dang, man, that was just. It was actually one of the most dramatic seasons of all time. Brutal. But it was more brutal. It was more train wreck than it was love story. Well, it was no love story. Mm-mm. It was more like icky than it was heartwarming. Yeah. And so you have this disaster of a season. Brutal. And Jesse gets up there and is like, you should watch The Golden Bachelorette. Because we figured it out that time.
Great. Yeah. That's why I'm just like, are we going to see some old con artists? Scammers?
I mean, knowing how they cast, I 100% think there's a scammer in the mix. They literally, depending on what rumors you believe to be true, casted a scam Golden Bachelor lead. Gary.
Oh my God.
We all thought Gary was Gary. Oh. And they didn't make it 3 months, did they?
No.
So, we already had a disaster. First season, and the Golden Bachelor season, the actual season was good, but then afterwards, when everything settled, we're like, oh, was that what we thought it was? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think the production team, this casting team, are at a point where they have to come to reality. What do they want the show to be? There's so much competition out there. There's Love Island. Love Island had enough. We didn't watch. But, I mean, we don't watch that show. But what we watched, we were intrigued by. Mm-hmm. It had an amazing breakout U.S. season. Mm-hmm. Love is Blind on Netflix, and all the countries all the countries that they're in is a worldwide sensation. Mm-hmm. And there's way more success, even though there's a lot of failures on that show. Mm-hmm. And they have their spinoffs, too, on Netflix. Mm-hmm. There's so many reality dating shows, and this is the big network show, and it's about marriage. And so, how are they going to do that and make it real, and not just have people getting scammed? Yeah, is my question.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow,
I don't know.
Any more other rants?
I think I've got it all out.
Okay.
Justice for Jenn.
Justice for Jenn. Jenn, you are a great lead. For whatever reason, you see other old clips of us or listen to our podcast where we doubted you. I want to be the first to say we were wrong.
Sorry.
You showed intelligence. We never just say you didn't have it, but you were clearly speaking and communicative. And I think it's actually very mature that you were aware of where you'd feel in the past about relationships and that you understood. Maybe you shouldn't, it wasn't right to get serious with those guys right away.
Yeah.
We were talking about you taking it easy and not really committing. So it turns out maybe you never should have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you were a great lead. The moments the season I'll remember, or we'll try to remember, are the parts where you were cool and great and funny. And we're sorry that ABC did that to you. Oh,
Did you dirty.
And the show did that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well.
But, good luck on Dancing with the Stars.
Yep. Good luck on Dancing with the Stars. Show's going to be on Dancing with the Stars. We won't be watching. We don't watch that show. Everyone talks about it. I was like, oh, well, they're on Dancing with the Stars. And I know that's a well-watched show, but I'm like, who cares?
Okay, well, I'm at least gonna, catch up with, keep up with, who's winning and stuff.
Yeah, and tons of people watch it, so it's a way to get even more followers, broaden your audience, stay in the public sphere a little longer. But I think my biggest advice, not that you need it, don't date for a while. Yeah. Because you've nobody in history has really gone through what you've gone through. Don't date for a while. Go learn about yourself. I don't know, have some fun, and just find a normal guy.
And go back to PA school.
How old is she?
She said she wanted to go back to PA school.
How old is she?
I have no idea.
If you're looking for an accountant or a doctor, I got brothers that are, they will. Sure. They're better men than those guys are.
The Johnson men are stand-up men.
Exactly. Okay, so are we done with The Bachelor?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to move on from that. We watched more than The Bachelor. It's hard to believe that there's other reality TV going on, but there is. And so we're going to talk about Big Brother here in a second. Mm-hmm. But we do have other things we talk about. Do you have any Brooks Buzz for us this week?
I just was going to talk about who was cast for Dancing with the Stars,
okay,
even though
ahead.
we don't watch it.
Yeah.
Because there are some good peeps. There's Jenn, who we already talked about, and then Joey, the Bachelor.
Yeah.
And then we have a couple Olympians. So we have Steven, the Pummel Horse King. Mm-hmm. I can't say his last name. Forgive me.
Right.
And then Ilona or
Ilona.
Yeah. From the rugby team, U.S. Women's Rugby Team, and social media queen, social media star.
Yeah.
I think she'll give a great show.
Yeah.
And then Phaedra. Good old Phaedra Parks.
Yes.
You know what I thought was so funny on the listing? It said Phaedra Parks from Traders. I'm like, no, from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll at least keep up with who's doing good, who's still in, and sometimes I do go and watch their dances.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that's it. Really, things are getting really good on Real Housewives of Orange County.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
And that's all you got for us?
If someone wants to come and have a convo with me about Real Housewives of Orange County, I'm here. Let's engage.
No, yeah, you gotta reach out and get a guest. You have to find someone special to get a guest. Don't just.
I know.
Well, I mean, if you want to, but I'm sure she'll have a special guest to discuss Real Housewives with, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would like to bring back our sports speed segment.
Okay.
Coming up here in about 5 seconds, I'm going to have 60 seconds to catch you up on reality dating stars.
Oh.
And we're going to start that now. I've got 60 seconds. Yes, I've got 60. Okay, you're breaking into my 60 seconds. We're going to start this over.
Okay. Whoa.
Because those wasn't reality TV stars that are dating athletes.
Okay, got it.
Is what we're discussing.
Okay, got it.
For those who aren't familiar with the segment, that's what we're going to do. Okay. So my 60 seconds is going to start Now, okay, I've got 60 seconds to fill you in on reality TV TV stars dating athletes. Okay, let's start off with Victoria Fuller and Will Levis. For those who don't know, either Victoria F, she was a bachelor contestant, and Will Levis is the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are horrible. Victoria F is not cool, so I think they're a perfect match. He's a starter. I think she's kind of dwindling off in her reality TV. She's also 30. He's 25. It reminds me of that scene from Moneyball, and it's like, okay, Will Levis. Secondly, Haley Brochure and Alex Caruso got engaged. Both A&M Aggies. Sorry, Ags. Aggies. A depressing week for you guys. You lost to Notre Dame. But they won. They got married to each other. That's really crazy that a Big Brother player is married to an NBA star. I've got a few seconds left. Alona Mayer and Steve are both in Dancing with the Stars. Steven already has a girlfriend. He won't be dating his partner. And Alona Mayer, maybe? Who knows?
Okay. Good job.
That was our 60-second update. That's all the segment I get, really, except for Rose Winners. And I didn't record it. I didn't video record it. Which was the whole purpose.
Why didn't you do it?
I totally forgot. I got thrown off my game. It's all good. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe I'll still put it out there with the audio and just put stuff up there.
Yeah.
Okay. So we watched other TV. Besides that, we also watched Big Brother this week. Dun, 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 dun. Big Brother had another week in the books. We had another eviction today. Today's Thursday. We're recording right after the episode. We're watching the live feeds right now. My question right off the bat is this a top tier season of Big Brother?
This season is wild. Okay? This season feels so different than other seasons.
Yeah.
One reason being the veto has been used every single week.
Right.
For the first, 7?
Yeah.
7 weeks? Never happened before.
I think we're at 8 now.
8?
Yeah.
Inexplicably,
okay,
Leah used the veto to save Angela yet again this week.
Yeah.
We were talking about this earlier. I think that they just kind of see Angela as an easy person to manipulate. And I think she cries a lot. And I think they see her as like an older woman crying a lot and they feel bad for her.
Yeah, definitely.
I really think so. I think people have more compassion for older people and then like younger people. Right? So the ones that are the same age that are crying, they're just like, okay, get over it. Right? Or you're annoying.
Right.
But like the older people, they're like, oh, we should have compassion on her. Right? But it's not real. And she's shown time and time again she can't be trusted.
Yeah.
She'll make these alliances and make these pacts with people and then she goes behind their back.
Yep.
Or she'll say one thing oh, I really like you and I really value working with you in this game, and then she goes and badmouths them to somebody else.
Yeah.
It's just it's wild. So for Leah to be oh, I just really want her in the jury as a number for me, I'm just kind of what?
Yeah.
She's such a wild card. Can you really count on her?
True. Yeah, Leah hasn't really played as much, so she actually is in a great position to not give Angela ammunition to dislike her, because Angela can't say she's betrayed her because Leah hasn't done anything but be nice to her.
Yeah.
But as soon as Leah starts showing that she has any agency, I'm sure Angela will question her.
Yeah, for sure.
And doubt her.
For sure.
Yeah, this was a topsy-turvy week. I think what I want to say right off the bat is Quinn, what are you doing? Quinn, or maybe I'll say it like Quinn. Oh my gosh! What are you doing, Quinn? Quinn, I can't believe it. You've had 2 people go home on your HOH that were in your alliance.
It just feels so there's not a lot of strategy happening this season, right?
Well, no, I think in Quinn's case, he's over strategizing. Never, ever put people you are aligned with, unless if you don't have to. I mean, you get to a point in the season where you have to just on numbers. but that you're closely aligned with, that have had your back since the beginning, or are in your alliance on
That's
the
what
block.
I'm saying. That's a strategy. And why are you not doing that?
Well, because I think he wanted to build new relations with Makensy and Cam and all these people, and had to
True.
justify reasons to do that and why he wouldn't put them up. When it's like, no, just stick with the people who are stuck with you.
True.
And build on those. And you can't be good with everybody in the house.
It's like honestly hard to know at this point, like who's aligned with who and what is who's going home and not. I mean, it's okay. So for sure, we know that Chemo, Rubina, and T-Core are thick as thieves.
Yes, and I think in that, Chemo and T-Core are super close.
Yeah. So I mean, there's that. But other than that, I'm kind of like, what are we just like have a whole group of floaters left?
I think Chelsie would be in super tight with Cam if he would just join up.
Yeah.
But Cam, we saw what happened.
Oh
Let's go a quick. It's our early segment for us to do the segment, but let's get a Showmance update on what's going on in the house and how that relates to the season.
Listen, my girl Chelsie, I ride with you no matter what, okay? Chelsie has found herself in a little love triangle, okay?
No.
She
has
Yes.
A love triangle would be if okay, I can see what you're saying.
Chelsie has a little bit of a crush on Cam. Cam is not interested in Chelsie in that way, but he has been showing a lot of attention to Makensy lately, and Makensy has been showing a lot of attention to him, and Chelsie is very upset about it and sad about it, and I don't blame her. I would be the exact same way. She's getting a lot of heat from people being like, girl, he never liked you, y'all aren't in a relationship, da 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 da. But I get it. I've been there.
Yeah. It's just really kind of, I get it. It's a little hard for me to be sympathetic. Cam, she said they built a special friendship. And don't they say that about every single person in the house? You'd be a great friend to me. We have a special bond. So what does that even really mean? And it really just means that she has a crush on him and was hoping that they could have a connection. Maybe they do. Clearly not strong enough that he wouldn't go lay in some other girl's lap. If you'll remember, he started off the season having a huge crush on Leah. And he verbalized that to her.
Yes.
To
Leah?
Leah? Yeah.
Or to Chelsie?
No, to Leah.
He told Leah he liked her?
Well, he said, I had dreams about you.
Oh?
Remember? You remember
I don't remember that.
It was on the show. I had dreams about you and...
Okay, well, I forgot.
And... I know. And things of that nature. And so he's not the kind of guy who won't tell you if he's like into you.
Yeah, true.
It was obvious to Leah. She was like, oh, she was like, oh my gosh, I'm not into Cam, right? So Chelsie, I feel like if he'd shown her signs, they'd have evidence of it. Chelsie would be like, well, he kind of said he liked me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That has not happened. So
yes, but you can still be upset that you like someone and they don't like you back and they're giving attention to someone else.
Right. I get that. That's fine. But I'm just saying, like, that happens all the time. And they're acting like they're trying to make it like Cam and Makensy are the worst people in the world.
No, they're not.
T-Core and Rubina are like, there just has to be some tact. You should know better. She's 22, but she should. And actually, this is where T-Core lost me as a rooting interest, because she was like, Makensy, she just needs she needs to grow up a little bit. And I'm like, what? No, you're 22 and in the house with a bunch of singles, and if you want to flirt a little bit, you growing up is realizing that, yeah, you should use that time to flirt. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh.
Like, because you don't have many more flirting days.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no. You're coming from a place of feeling a little sad. You can't flirt anymore,
no,
huh?
That's not what I was. That was a joke. But you and I, we can flirt. We just don't flirt with other people.
Yeah.
So, anyways, what I'm saying is, like, I think that, and then T-Core was like, I think, and that's why I had to look up is T-Core's age, because she was like, I thought I heard her say, I'm 22, but I'm very mature for my age.
She did.
I almost threw up. I was like, that is to me is the lamest thing you can say. Anyone who's like, okay, if it's coming from a place of trauma, that's when I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. I apologize for what happened. But when you're just like, I'm mature for my age, I'm like really mature, and you're just using it to brag about yourself, I feel sorry for you. Yeah. Because that I don't find that mature at all.
Yeah.
And then talking about it in reference to someone else as being immature is a final straw for me.
Yeah.
I was rooting for T-Core. I still think she's a great player. I still think she's going to go far, but that to me made her very unlikable.
Oh my god.
So back to our main point. Cam, Chelsie. It's the Big Brother house, man. Don't. She's huffing and puffing and leaving the room when they're flirting, and that to me is like something that happens in middle school.
Oh my gosh.
When you're just like, oh my gosh, Cam and Makensy are flirting. I can't even watch. It's like, gross. Oh, I'm not gonna say it.
I just feel like you are coming from a place of like,
let's get into it.
Not having that experience,
no, that's not true.
Or just like taking that experience differently, perceiving it differently.
All right, and we've discussed this, but I will repeat myself for the podcast. Okay, every time we watch Perfect Match, or Paradise, any of these shows where a large group of women, beautiful women, are dating a large group of men and they're intermixing, right? Mm-hmm. Some of these girls have this trouble and it's almost as if you can tell they've never really truly had to compete before.
Okay.
Or if it got too competitive, they could just, change the situation and go to a place where they were the top dog. You know what I mean? And of course, beautiful women are going to find attention from men, and they truly rarely have problem getting attention. Now, is it wanted? That's a whole other story. Mm-hmm. But you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Men are out here on the grind. I don't want to turn it into this, but I think more often than not, guys are more accustomed to, hey, there's three of us. We all like that girl. Who's gonna, you know what I mean?
Let's battle it out.
Yo, true. It's like, that's lame, but that's what happens. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So
that's true, because Joseph and Quinn are both in love with Leah.
They both are, like, she's over there like, you nerds like me, and they're like, yeah, we do.
That's true,
right? And then if Cam were to go like, ooh, Makensy and Chelsie, y'all both like me, it's like, you dirty dog. How dare you? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Leah.
That's true.
Leah has had Joseph and Quinn wrapped. You know what I mean? And they were fine. True. So that's all I'm saying. If Chelsie had been like, oh, is Makensy the only one who can give you head scratches? You haven't even tried my head scratches. I promise you, Cam would have been like, oh, okay. Yeah, and he probably might have shown her more attention.
True.
To see her assert herself. But when she just goes up, ugh, I can't even, because she hasn't said like she knew I liked him. Yeah. She said we have a special friendship.
Yeah.
And here's another thing. Yeah. This is what people aren't ready for. If I'm Makensy and I like Cam, which we haven't even gotten to the mat of it all, right? Mm-hmm. If I'm Makensy and I like Cam, and some girl goes, or if I'm me, and and somebody like, okay. If I'm Makensy and I like Cam and someone says, me and Cam have a special friendship, I was like, oh, are y'all dating? Like, no, but we're special friends. I was like, okay, well.
Not special
But you see what I'm saying? That's what she said. I would be like, okay, whatever.
I know.
Cam, get over here.
I know.
Because what does that mean?
But I think.
So that's all I'm saying. It's a little ridiculous how Chelsie is acting.
But
and to me, a little immature.
Okay. But I think that Chelsie is not the type of girl to be very like forward with guys and like flirty with guys and like touchy-feely with guys. And so then she's like, oh, well, I'm getting beaten out by someone who is like that. Okay. And I'm like, and that's, I mean, I think that's okay.
That's fine, but she also has to acknowledge that the guy she likes is a guy who likes a touchy-feely girl. Fair. So were you ever really going to be compatible?
Fair. You're right.
Can we acknowledge that?
You're right.
But here's the plus side of all that's happening, and this is why it ties in the game. Are we done with Showmance Watch? We talked about all the showmances. it is forcing these happening to the girls. Makensy losing Matt, Rubina losing Tucker, Chelsie realizing that Cam's not into her, Leah not having a plus size man to fawn over. These girls are kind of realizing, dang, I guess we got to play for ourselves.
Yeah,
it's like there's a bunch of Nicole Franzels in there, but there's no Corys.
Yeah,
and they're kind of like, oh,
well,
I guess we're gonna win this.
Yeah, because there's 6 girls and 3 guys.
Yeah.
So chances of an all-girl final 2-3 are pretty high, and I love it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna happen, and they haven't solidified like, oh, let's go all-girls alliance.
Yeah.
But I think they're actually trending that way in their gameplay and what's happening.
Yeah.
They got Joseph out; he was a guy. They only had guys on the block, so playing initiated.
Right.
But it's Chelsie realizing, if this is a wake-up call to her, like, okay, this is not Bachelor in Paradise. This is Big Brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, let's get Makensy back in the game. I don't know. See, Makensy strikes me as a person, she might just have a slight crush on Cam. But you remember, she did the whole thing with Matt.
Yeah.
Like, how's she going to navigate that? And then she's got her brother waiting for her back home.
Stop. I saw in the feeds, Chelsie, I don't even want to say it, Chelsie saying that Makensy was saying her and Cam are like brother and sister. and then Chelsea's like, last time I heard that was Tucker saying that about Rubina, so what does that even mean in this house?
Yeah, because for those who don't know what we're talking about, earlier in the season, we didn't bring it up on the pod because I think we were weirded out.
It was too much.
She said, like, ugh.
She said her brother is her soulmate,
and she wishes,
it makes her sad that he's gonna marry someone else.
Something along those lines.
Yes.
She brought up marriage
yes.
and her brother and him being your soulmate.
Yes.
So that's why I am bringing it up. It is possible that Makensy doesn't see Cam as a romantic partner, just as a brother cuddle partner, which is, Lord help him, please.
It reminds me of that girl, what was that? Christine and Cody. Remember, yes, Christine was married?
but that got bad.
I know.
She broke up with her husband because of that.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe they won't. I don't know if they said it was because of that, but that was the beginning of the end.
I know.
Yeah. So the girls are in charge. Quinn can't play HOH. If Kimo wins, he's for the girls, or he's for Tico and Rubina. He's not. He doesn't care about Cam. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The only way the guys stand a chance is if Cam wins.
Yeah.
And bonds with Kimo and Quinn. And
yeah.
I don't know if that's the best choice.
Right.
If I'm a guy, there's only one way to win this season.
Yeah.
The only way to win this season is to keep 2 of you around.
Yeah.
And it can't be Kimo because the girls like Kimo more.
Yep.
Kimo cried, and that swayed some of the votes.
Yeah.
I'm reading some comments that was partially why Makensy voted to keep him. You know what I mean? His story and who he, so girls like him.
Yeah.
They're closer aligned with him.
I don't even know if I've seen Cam and Quinn have a conversation.
And that's but here's why Cam can't do it, because you can't trust Quinn to keep that a secret.
Yeah, true.
If they have any self-awareness, and it's not wrong, I think the girls should do this. They are not going to vote a man over a woman.
No.
And and that's totally fine. You can vote the winner for whatever reason you want.
Yeah.
They're not going to vote a man over a woman. So the only way for a guy to win is if Quinn and Cam say, if we don't take each other to the final 2, we do not win.
Yeah.
And that's period.
Period.
And they should say to each other, it's going to start being obvious with the people who are left in this house that they are trying to get us out. You're going to see it happen. If they
make it final 2, I'll be shocked.
And it won't happen.
Yeah.
It won't happen. A girl is going to win this season.
Yeah.
And my only concern is that it might end up being Angela. Ugh.
It might be like a classic case of like the guy, I already forgot his name, who won Claim to Fame.
Adam.
Where they're like, oh, we'll get him out later. Oh, we'll get him out later.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of forget, and then they win the show.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at some point, they're like, wow, Angela, you actually face a lot of adversity. You actually have a good reason. You have a good resume.
Right.
And she's won 2 HOHs.
I know.
She's not even a floater.
I know.
She's just crazy.
It's going to be very interesting to see who wins this week.
Yeah, I think we got the feeds up. It looks like they're doing the comp right now. Who knows how long it'll last? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see. It's really going to dictate a lot about what happens this season. We've made it this far and haven't even talked about who got eliminated. This was an eviction episode.
Who cares? I mean, I'm happy he got eliminated, but I'm like,
he was a total. I mean, from his introduction, he's been a flop.
He's just.
I remember his video package.
Again, I just don't like his attitude.
Yeah, we're just like, what's this guy's deal?
I feel like he has a bad attitude,
and not even like a charming bad attitude.
Yeah,
just boring.
There's no redemptive. You can have a bad attitude, but then have redemptive qualities
for TV. I'm sure he's a good person, but yes,
yeah. But I just never even saw that side of him.
He was overconfident in his abilities.
Yes.
He thought he was in a better standing in the house than he was.
He thought he was going to be Dr. Will and not win anything, but then still win the show.
And the thing about Dr. Will is he did it in a charming way.
Yeah.
And Dr. Will actually did win prizes.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Dr. Will was winning prizes, and so it was showing, you know what I mean? But he just had a carefree maverick kind of persona.
That also was a very different time back then.
But I actually think Dr. Will, and he did it by speaking his affirmation or his approval of Tucker's game.
Yeah,
it's closer to what Tucker did, and that Tucker was crazy.
Yes,
Dr. Will didn't do. It wasn't that he didn't do anything.
Yes.
It's just that you didn't know what he would do.
Yes, and I think that Joseph was ready to ride Tucker's coattails to the end.
Oh, definitely. He was a floater. He won 0 comps. His social strategy meant nothing.
Yeah.
He kind of laughed in the face of Angela, and
oh my gosh,
she got the last laugh on him, which I actually am happy happened.
I know.
And
because there really was not a reason for him to be that harsh with her. He literally was just like, "You're done. You're going home," for like no reason.
Right. And then he didn't really campaign for himself.
Yeah. He
didn't have any passion pleas. He didn't give anybody a reason to keep him.
Yeah.
Chemo did.
Yeah.
So he went home.
He was walking around talking about how he was gonna beat all the girls in the end, and it just was like, no, he needed to be humbled.
Yeah. He also, I feel like he has this feeling like he's gonna have this really loyal fan base. People that liked him because he was a super fan when he gets out. And I cannot name you one, besides maybe his family. I have not seen one person online be like, Joseph, go Joseph, team I haven't seen one person all season long.
Yeah.
I've seen Cam fans. I've seen Leah fans. I've seen Makensy fans.
Yeah.
I've seen everybody except Joseph.
Yeah.
So he really just... Kenny had a bigger impact on the game than Joseph.
I know.
In my opinion. So it's just, it is what it is with him. He's out the door. It remains to be seen if anyone's even going to remember him. I doubt I will. What else happened, Big Brother, this week? We ended the...
Leah won veto, which I had said earlier.
Yeah.
And I just want to say to the women who are still remaining there, I mean, you're not going to see this, but y'all need to, like, believe in yourself more. Because after she won, she was like, I can do it. I can win. Like, yes, of course you can. Why are you even, like, questioning it? Why are you saying it like that? And then Rubina did the same thing after she won AI Arena tonight. Like, come on, ladies.
It's a very interesting thing. I don't think that way at all, but it is. I've lived a different life and experience.
Yeah.
When I win something, even if I doubted myself, my first words out of my mouth like, "Yeah, I told you." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People say it's like, "You did a great job." I was like, "Yeah, of course I did."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which can be actually bad sometimes. But I could see how other people with a different lived experience don't feel that way.
Right.
You also are very confident in your abilities, but when you know you can't do something, you're not like I'm gonna go be a T-ball star.
Right.
You're just like, yeah, I couldn't do it.
Right.
So I stopped. I didn't want to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you win a comp, it's not gonna. you know, you might be like, "Whoa, I won that," but it would be like if you were playing t-ball,
Yeah.
not over something you can do. You know what I mean? Or
Right.
your general ability.
Right.
And that's what I like that about you. I like that you're confident.
Thanks, baby.
So I can only imagine that it has to do with them not having that same lived experience or that same disposition towards confidence.
But that's kind of like that Nicole Franzel thing.
Oh gosh. And I actually think it's more nefarious with Nicole.
Oh no, little
like,
Omi from
yes.
Where did she live? Wherever
I can't believe I forgot
from.
because she always brings
little
it up.
old mom, just a
From
stay-at-home mom.
Michigan, or wherever she is.
Who would have thought that I would win?
And I think I showed these boys that a little girl can win. And you're like, shut up.
Yeah.
It pains me to say this because I dislike her so much as a TV star.
Uh-huh.
Nicole Franzel is one of the best Big Brother players of all
I
time.
know.
And her strategy, I don't like them, but she is one of the best Big Brother players of all time.
Yeah.
And she always asks, like, how do you play this game again? Oh my gosh, guys.
I know.
And it's like, you are so cutthroat.
I know.
And I just like it when people own up
and
to it.
you know how to strategize. And
Yes.
you win when you need to win, or you play the people that win. So, like, come on, girl.
Yeah, we just prefer when people own up.
Yeah.
You know, I think we both do. So,
Yeah.
But they did have Tucker winning all the comps, so that was
Yeah.
part of it. So Leah win, and she needed this if she wants a chance to win it all.
Yeah.
She couldn't float her way. She needed to make a move,
know.
and it's a memorable move in keeping Angela. She can say, "I started the ball rolling on this all girls."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She truly has played a part in that, and she knows Angela's a vote for her. It's good strategy. It's good. Let's go. Who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Let's go. Oh, Xavier Worthy. That's 2 touchdowns on the night. I'm watching my fantasy football team as also as well.
That's what this is about.
And so it's a tried and true thing. If you watch the People's Rose, you are going to see me reacting to Thursday Night Football. That's just how it is. Okay, so yeah, she needed this to win. She needed this like Xavier, like I needed that Xavier Worthy touchdown. Okay, you see what I'm doing there? You see what I'm doing
All
there?
Right.
So yeah. Angela, I mean, we're just gonna be talking about her. She made it to jury. So she's officially gonna be on the show the whole time. I was low key praying she wouldn't make it to jury, so she would just get out of here. But at this point, Angela, and I don't like this, but I imagine it's almost like for people who hate Rachel Riley. That's her name, right?
Mm-hmm.
From the Big Brother seasons in the past, and that you were like, people hated her, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
I liked her. I didn't have a problem with her.
Mm-hmm.
I think Angela is reaching that level of like, okay, she's just one of those characters.
Yeah.
In Big Brother history.
I need to see her go off again.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. You can. You're never a week away from an Angela breakdown.
Yeah.
And speaking of breakdowns, you've said it. This cast is a bunch of crybabies.
They're cry.
At a moment's notice, they cry.
It's crazy.
And is crying a bad thing?
No, I think crying is a healthy release of emotion.
But it's just happening so much.
It's just so every single eviction.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen anybody be this invested in every single person.
Right.
Or, this many people be invested in all of them. It's crazy. And Leah, her face when she cries, it gets, like, so scrunched up. It's just very obvious when Leah cries.
I can't even emulate it, but I know the
She's
face.
Like, I don't want to do it. But it's a very distinct face when she's crying.
Another thing I'm thinking about, you just talking about Leah reminded me, I wonder what Matt is thinking. Because first of all, he's just so much not a part of this game anymore. Who cares? Mm-hmm. They've forgotten him. But he was like, yeah, avenge me, get Angela out. And now Leah and Makensy are saving Angela after night one being like, we're gonna get her out of there, Matt. This is for you.
You
And now they're
know-
like, we love you, Angela. Please stay with us till the end.
Something inside of me, I'm feeling like we're gonna get a Makensy HOH.
Oh, I would
I'm
love
feeling like she's gonna win HOH.
that. I need Makensy to step
I
up.
really I'm feeling that
Houston,
this week.
let's go H-Town. Like, let's really show.
I'm
Let's go
really
big for Big
feeling
Brother.
it.
I need that from her. She's like winning comps when she needs to, but I need her to just do more than self-preserve. I need her to actually go win something and make a move. Maybe she needs to start and solidify the Girls Alliance.
Yeah.
Man. I'm trying to think what else we got.
I think that's pretty much it.
And Big Brother World. They ended the AI arena twist.
Yeah.
With the start of jury, like they do most years, they end like whatever season's twist.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, they ended a jury, or maybe they start a new one.
But then they have some sort of new thing, probably.
Yeah. But this is the best. Well, this is one of the best twists in ages.
It really was. Like, it really made eviction night unknown.
Yeah, and it made it not just unknown. Before it almost was boring to watch evictions because they didn't show HOHs anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We knew it was going to be unanimous 7-1. That person was going home.
Yeah.
There wasn't a reason to watch.
Right.
Now this became like the most appointment watch of all the episodes.
Yeah.
It brought that energy.
It was
back.
really smart of them to do that.
We didn't have one unanimous vote.
And having to put 3 people on the block instead of 2 is pretty significant.
Truly. And so it makes the game messier.
Yeah.
Which I think has contributed to the you know what I'm trying to say, just the overall zaniness of this game. So yeah, it's a good twist, and man, I almost am like, just keep it. Like, rename it something else.
I don't know.
Next season. Don't call it AI Arena, but bring that back. Find a way to do some kind of that mechanic again, because otherwise we're just gonna go back to unanimous votes.
I don't know though. They've done the 3 people nomination thing before. But they've never done the AI Arena.
Right,
that's what makes it different.
You can fight your way off the block first.
True.
On that eviction night, and because people don't know who the final 2 are gonna be. You know what I'm saying? They have to play in multiple scenarios.
That's true.
And you get more emotional votes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe they will keep doing it.
I think so. And then you can settle into normal gameplay, which I love. I love classic gameplay, just the basic rules. And we get that during jury, maybe throw another twist in there and call it a night. Yeah. I haven't had that person that I'm just like, I'm rooting for them. I'm on their side this season.
Me either.
I haven't felt a deep connection to a person or an alliance. But I will say this season has been pretty crazy in a good way. Even if the people that are going far aren't necessarily who I like.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because again, I don't have a strong favorite. I don't have if this person doesn't win, I'm going to be upset kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
that's true. I agree. I feel like there's nobody left besides Angela that I would just be like, oh, I can't believe they won.
Yeah.
Whereas I've had that in the past for sure.
Yeah.
And there's nobody just like steamrolling right now, which I like too.
Yeah. So that, especially now they got Tucker out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that said, is that all we got for Big Brother?
I think so.
Great week. We made it the whole. We're recording earlier. We were on time today, so we're not. I don't think we're gonna see who wins.
Yeah.
HOH unless it happens in the next 5 minutes, because before we end the show out,
they've been waiting a really long time after the episode to do the HOH.
No, it's been the same amount of time because they never do it until after Pacific airs.
The
only time
I didn't realize that.
The only time they start it before Pacific airs
is if it's like
an endurance comp that they're gonna show.
Okay.
And even then, sometimes they just start it because you remember, sometimes the wall comp I think started after the Pacific time airing. So that's when they wait. That's when they wait to start it. So yeah. Okay, so before we get out, we're gonna give out. We got any rose winners this week?
I don't think so. Well, Jenn
Yeah.
needs a people's rose.
Jen deserves an absolute people's rose.
Jenn, you have a people's rose. Forget about all the roses you handed out. This is the one that really matters.
Exactly. It is not truly. It's from the podcast, but I think you have all of America on your side.
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
What happened? You were the first Asian American Bachelorette.
Yep.
And
Represent.
you represented yourself very well, even if the show let you down.
And your culture very well.
Yeah, and you were very adamant about that, and you were just a cool chick.
Yep.
So you get a people's rose. You're right. We had less shows to watch, so we just have less.
I know. I guess next week it's just gonna be Big Brother.
I think next week the circle starts.
Oh, the circle.
And so we're gonna be able to talk about that. And those come out in huge chunks, so we'll actually have tons to talk about.
Okay.
If not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not enough.
Yeah.
And I also think the Golden Bachelor comes out.
I need a break. I need a break from The Bachelor. I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah, I think the Golden Bachelorette. Oh no, okay, no, that's 2 weeks. Okay. So we will have the circle.
Oof.
Right. Okay, well that's our episode this week. We appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching on YouTube. We have had a really fun summer of reality TV. We're going until our fall season of reality TV, which looks like it's going to be action-packed as well. So stick around and join us for that ride. Please like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Please subscribe to our podcast if you're listening. Leave a comment and tell your friend, or follow us on social media at The People's Rose on your favorite social media networks. And watch us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, where you'll see Brooke declaring to be anti-Jenn.
No!
Okay. Anything else, Brooke?
Just shout out to all my homies at the crib.
There you go. Okay, bye.
Bye.